Good morning, babes. Thank you so much for tuning in for another Spiritual Sunday extravaganza. We are coming at you actually on Sunday morning, so we're very excited. We have lots of goodies for you today. We're talking about the 4 pillars of intuition. We have coverage on how to deal with Debbie Downers, and of course, ask a spiritualist, am I the asshole? So we're actually gonna go ahead and start off with just a little bit of a grounding prayer. So if you guys would just sit comfortably, and I would love if you could do this breath practice with us. So we're gonna take a few deep breaths. You're gonna inhale through your nose, straight into the belly, and exhale through the mouth. And we're gonna do that 3 times. So inhale. Exhale. Really just take this moment to be in your body and recognize the sensations that you're feeling. Feel the breath as it's traveling through the nose. I want to take this time to show gratitude to the Mother and Father Creator. Thank you for being here with us on this beautiful Sunday morning as we gather to talk about spirituality with friends, with banter and good laughter. I call our spirit guides, the ancestors that walk with us in divine light, to be with us as we're traveling inwards and discussing what is making our hearts full. Take a couple moments to resonate with your heart center, as this dictates our capacity to love and to be loved. Because today we'll be sharing love and light and laughter, and we hope that you can feel it with us. In the name of Nefter, who guides us, who allows us to shine bright, to have open hearts and open minds as we travel today. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start our podcast today with discussing the 4 pillars of intuition. So these are kind of like the hallmarks of clair energy, and there are plenty more clair senses than just the 4 we'll be discussing today, but these are the main 4 pillars that you'll see from oracle readers, from healers. These are the kind of main clair powers that are advertised around us. They're kind of the easiest clair powers for us to get in contact with. So each of us, as we're born, we all have an instant connection, an innate connection to our own intuition. And this is a practice that you can develop. You can strengthen your intuition, and we're gonna try to get more connected with it today. So the first pillar of intuition is clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is the capacity and ability to perceive things with your 3rd eye, to see things that are beyond the physical spectrum. And we actually do have a clairvoyant here. Yeah, we do. Mm-hmm. We do. So I would love if you could share a little bit about your clairvoyant journey, because you didn't always know that you had that spiritual superpower.
No, I mean, when you grow up, and I didn't have anybody to guide me. And as a kid, it's kind of scary when you see these things. You're like, no, I'm just crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, like, I used to have I don't know, but there used to be like a guy that sat outside my bedroom window.
Okay.
And yeah, like when I slept, I'd always see him. Same guy, same tree, all the time. And so, but I knew he was there.
Yes.
Nobody else is going to see him all black and everything. But that's weird. That's scary to a child.
Yeah.
And then as you grow up and you start to realize and start to know that you just know things. I just automatically know, or something pops into my head, like a sentence. I'm like, okay, somebody's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow, and I'm like, 2 weeks. And 2 weeks later, I hear from you. I don't hear from you tomorrow. It's weird. It's been unusual. And then back in Texas, where I'm from, you don't have people to talk about this to. Not really. There's small groups, but here, Denver, like I've come in. It's more powerful here, and I've come into my own. So it's been really cool because I have you that kind of help guide me where I'm lost, and I have her to help heal me. And then kind of when she does her healing, she tells me what I already know, which is amazing. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Reassurance.
Yes, that's what a lot of it is because you feel like you're a little crazy as you're going down this path, because you're like, nah, I'm imagining this is not really going on until you have confirmation from like somebody as yourself or you or other healers
that
like,
has that same perception.
yes, exactly, because then you're like, oh, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, like I'm not the only one saying
this.
this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's very odd. It's strange. It's a unique feeling, but it's very cool at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you definitely have a lot of practice with clairvoyance, being a Reiki master. That's like, from what I understand, very integral in your healing practice. So what has your journey been like, being clairvoyant and kind of discovering clairvoyance and like understanding, hey, that's a sense that I have.
Yeah, it's I always kind of joke in the beginning, it was a lot of hard lessons of like learning to listen to my intuition.
For sure.
Lots of like looking back, I'm like, I knew it, and I should have listened to myself. That kind of thing. But then you really just have to develop a relationship of trust with that ability, especially for me as a healer, because I will get downloads of people while they're on the table, and I receive those messages for a reason, so I've got to like trust it. And sometimes it'll be really vulnerable stuff, had to tell a client yesterday, I was like, you need to hold your abusers accountable. Never met this woman before in my life, you know what I mean? But it got very strong download and was like, I gotta share it. And
sure.
So it'll be, just have to go with it and trust yourself, and and then you get those reflections of like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think, and touching on that, the key part, because I have another friend back home that we're talking, and I was like, do you hear that little voice? That we all hear the little voice, or, I like to think most of us hear the little voice, but we ignore the little voice. That's actually your intuition telling you, hey, but we're like, oh, you just dismiss it. I have to tell people, if you hear that voice, don't dismiss it, because it's actually legit. That's like your spirit guide telling you, hey.
It's your spirit guide, your higher self.
Right.
And because what happens is like the spirit realm, your spirit guides, your ancestors, your higher self, your source power, which you're calling to, they are trying to talk with you. And 9 times out of 10, they're trying to reach more of pathways of your intuition than just one. So like clairvoyance is sending images and visuals to you. Clairaudience is hearing that little voice in your head. Clairsentience is that instant knowing, that instant download that you guys were talking about, the claircognizance. And then clairsentience is when you can feel them. So there's a lot of different ways that they will try to communicate with you. And so my personal pathway with clairvoyance wasn't something that I had innately been born with. I wasn't like born as a clairvoyant, but I did a lot of like visual practices, like visual meditations, shamanistic journeys, to strengthen that pathway that I had so that I could perceive more visual information, because I am a visual learner, and sometimes that's just more open and easier for me to understand than audio or sentience or other things. So I did a lot of incubation practice. Incubation is an ancient art form. This comes from like Mesopotamian high priestess, and what they would do is they would be praying in their temples to their manifestation of the divine, and they would anoint themselves, burn sweet incense as offerings, and they would ask for divine messages to relay to kings for war or to the people in general, because that's who would communicate to the divine for them, because not everyone had that innate ability to communicate with the divine. And you ask for divine guidance and lessons and wisdoms to be delivered to you in your dreams, and it makes your dreams a lot more vivid. And it can be very confusing at first, because you're hit with like a lot of strong emotions and a lot of different visuals while you're dreaming, and so you have to learn how to interpret the big picture of what's going on, the important feelings that you're feeling, the overall themes and ideas of your dreams, and not so much latching on to minuscule details that could kind of convolute the message, because you're speaking with your subconscious self, your higher self. You want to be able to understand that clearly, and the more you develop that relationship with your higher self, the more clear those pathways of intuition can become to you. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned that though, because I'm on different Wiccan sites, and a lot of them are like, well, how do I become a witch? How do I do this? I'm just like,
fundamentals.
Yeah, exactly. But you're like, I wasn't innately born with this, but you have a gift. You already know you have a gift, but you knew how to properly go about the channels to grow that gift. And so many people don't. Yes, and so many people don't know that you can develop it.
Yeah, because a lot of people think it's kind of you either have it or you don't. But it's like any type of practice or sense that you kind of just develop. Like if you have a hard time learning and remembering things after reading them, you can become defeated and say, okay, I'm just not good at learning. Or you have to approach it a different way, like, okay, there are different things I can do. Maybe I have to read and write something down in order to absorb that information. Maybe I have to read it 3 times instead of just saying, I don't learn how everyone else learns, so I cannot learn.
Right.
I don't receive the information everyone else receives or, my friend receives, so I do not have a connection with my intuition. You don't have to just give up. And I actually, if you go to acrimoniouspparadise.com, there is a quiz that you can take that'll tell you which clairvoyant sense or, clairsense is your strongest sense thus far, and then it'll point you in the direction of what you can do to strengthen that sense. So like if you are clairvoyant or you have like a strong visual lean, or you just kind of want to develop more clairvoyant senses, a lot of artwork practice, creative practice, and connecting with your crown chakra is really going to help you develop that sense over time. So just work with yourself. Just work with yourself and take the quiz. It's a fun quiz, and you learn cute stuff on how you can actually develop your senses. Yeah.
Yeah, I think believe in yourself too. I always kind of say, like, there are people who are born naturally athletic. There are people who are born naturally sensitive and gifted, but you can develop those muscles. Go to the gym, You see body transformations all the time. So it's just practice. It's dedication to the path if you have it, and trust yourself, believe in yourself.
Yeah, trust yourself for sure, and have fun with it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be, something boring or something that you don't want to do. If it's something you don't want to do and you're forcing yourself to do it, like, you can't force yourself to go to the gym all the time. It's something you want to be consistent with and actually incorporate into your lifestyle, so that you can actually be one with it, be one with your intuition, and just like merging the gap between your intuition and yourself.
Because if you try to force it, it's just not going to happen.
No. Yeah. Mm-mm. And you kind of have to find what works for you, because not everyone is going to be clairvoyant or clairaudient, or clairsentient. So there's just a lot of different pathways. And I love that you guys were talking about claircognizance as well. It's kind of like that instant download of information, because that is like, I don't know, I think that's one of the coolest clairsenses, one of the best spiritual superpowers.
I don't know, it kind of freaks me out sometimes.
No, for sure.
How do I know this?
For sure, because it's an instant knowing.
Yeah.
It's an instant knowing, and you can't help it. Like, there's nothing that person is doing to receive that download. They're just in that place. They're near the people whose energy is calling out to them, whose guides are calling out to them, like, hey, they need to hear this information. They're not listening to me, so can you be that messenger? Yeah.
I'm also always on the receiving end too sometimes, because I don't know, I just walk around and they're telling me that you need to do it. I don't know why, but they're telling me you
Doesn't
need
that
to do
almost
this.
feel embarrassing?
Yeah, kind of. I'm like, what? Am I not listening? Yeah. Because they're like, well, you need to do this and this. I'm like, okay, I guess it's because I receive the message, but I'm not really acknowledging the message. Like, okay,
right.
This is what I need.
You heard them, but you're not listening.
I'm listening, but I'm not comprehending why you're telling me to go do this until somebody else is in front of me giving me like, hey, it's that confirmation I need, I guess.
Okay.
So when you tell me something, I'm like, okay, now that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna go do this now. You know what I mean?
I see.
Because sometimes I'm hard-headed. I'm like, okay, I hear you, but I don't know why.
We can all be like
I
that
want to know
sometimes.
the why.
Yeah.
Why am I going to go do this? Why?
It don't
but,
always work like that.
but I'm great, you know, like, but I could do the same thing to people too. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you need to do this, and it's like to me in my head, it's like a prescription. It's like, this is what you need to take these, like the doctor sends you a little note home and goes, hey, these are the steps you need to take to get where you're going.
Yeah.
And people look at me a little weird, and I was like, I'm sorry, because it's still, at the end of the day, it seems weird coming out of my mouth. I don't know if I'm ever going to be comfortable.
Because they're not your words.
Right, exactly. I'm never going to know, but I'm like, why am I telling you this? I don't freaking know. I think that's where, as a human being, I'm still struggling, like, why am I telling somebody these random things? But I'm like, okay, well, I guess you need to hear it, but.
Yeah, they need to do
And
that
it feels
message.
right. I'm not going against, you know, it feels right, but at
Right.
the end of the day, it's weird to me still. It's like,
Yeah.
how am I doing this? You know what I mean? Doesn't it seem like,
Well, you know, when you come into that healer path, especially when you're on the service side of healing and you perform healing services for other people, that's kind of like within your purpose to do that. You know, that's something that you kind of have to do. It's part of your job description.
right, but it still feels a little, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I don't do services.
I know I'm saying the right things, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I still feel awkward.
Being in that position.
Do you ever not feel awkward anymore?
No, I just trust the process at this point.
I trust the process, but I feel awkward.
I mean, there's always like a level of anxiety of being like, okay, is this message going to be received? You know, because there's always like the shooting of the messenger
Right,
that
exactly.
happens. So I always like know that there's always that level of anxiety, but generally when I take the plunge, it's always, it's always something that they need to hear, and I generally get that confirmation. It's just, I've been doing it long enough at this point where it's like, push past the anxiety, just do what you gotta do, you know, in the end, you know, how it's received or how other people react, that's not my responsibility. I did my job, you know, because that's the other thing too, like, it'll just play in my head or get, like, it'll plague me until I do it, and, like, I get, like, a sense of relief
because, like, you're holding, when you
Uh-huh.
receive that message, you have that message, so you obviously have to relay it, otherwise it's gonna knock
So
around
how do
in
you
your
deal
head.
with people crying? I mean, I'm glad I'm giving you the message you need, but at the same time, when they start crying, I'm like, oh my God, I understand I didn't do anything wrong, and they really needed to hear it, but that's still a little, it still catches me off guard when they start to tear up a little bit, and I'm like,
tears are confirmation for me. I'm like, okay, good, it resonated with you.
Right.
Because, you know, it evoked emotion. And then too, like, I think it's just another level of healing for the collective, like emoting and having strong emotion in any space should be something that is more safe and more well received, you know? So it's just like, just hold space for whatever emotion they've got that's coming up. Hold them in compassion and understanding, and that's another thing too, as a healer or as a spiritual guide, in any capacity, it is your job to hold space for whatever emotion comes after that,
right.
you know, and just let them know, like, this is a safe space, and then until they get to the point where they're like, all right, I can pick up the pieces and move along on my journey, like, all right, cool, I did my job, I held space for you, and I delivered the message.
Yeah, just gotta accept them with love.
All I do is it just catches me off a little something. I'm like, dang, I hit a nerve. I mean, it's a good nerve normally because it's a message they need to receive to get their closure, which is awesome. I feel good about it, but at the same time, I'm like, I didn't mean to make you cry. And they're like, no, it's a good thing. And I was like, okay.
Tears aren't bad.
No, but it still catches me off guard sometimes because I'm like, I'm still reasonably, like, I've been doing it all my life, but I've not known what I was doing until, you know, now. And now I know what I'm doing, and it's becoming stronger and stronger. It's like, as soon as you realize what you're doing, it's an overwhelming, everything it's like, oh, okay, now she knows what she's doing. So we're going to throw everything at her because now she's able to receive the message and she knows what's going on. And so it's still a little weird to get other people's reactions. It's like, oh, damn, I was on point. Yeah, me. But it's still new to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It intentionally comes with a kind of level of pressure.
Yeah.
So it can be like, did I just mess up kind of thing. So yeah, I think that kind of anxiety will just go
Always
away with my practice.
because it all, you know, because then you're also like, am I really telling you what you need to hear? Or is that something you also struggle in the beginning? You're struggling with, am I projecting or am I actually telling you a message that's being, you know what I mean?
And that comes with understanding the actual differences between you your intuition, and energy that is not yours.
Right.
Because when you're receiving those messages, you're not receiving that from yourself or your higher self. That's something else, you know? That's something bigger than you. And I think one of the biggest practices that I learned that helped me differentiate between energies, especially between my own intuition and messages that were coming not from me, is being really in contact with my heart center. Because you cannot receive clear messages if your heart is blocked. You cannot. Those messages are going to be convoluted with your own inner workings.
Right.
So with an open heart, an open throat, and especially an open crown and third eye chakra is where you can receive the most clear messages that you can interpret. So I would do like affirmations. There's a lot of work that can be done on these energy centers. And there's more information about that like on my website if you want to get into specifics. But like for me personally, I'm clairaudient. So whenever I really feel like my pathways aren't clear, sound bath healing. Sound bath healing works for me. It really does. It resonates. It circles around and radiates like a halo over my head and just clears out from the top to the bottom so that I can, openly receive messages. Openly receive what needs to be received and relayed what needs to be relayed and what needs to be said. But I'm also very clear in my boundaries with my spiritual guides, and because it takes a lot of energy, and it takes energy from you to be that messenger. And I don't personally like to do that. I don't like to do it because people do shoot the messenger. People shoot the messenger, and just because you receive that message doesn't mean the person who needs to hear that message is ready to receive that message. Especially, given where they are in their own journey, that message can be taken super personally. That message could be not, it could be blown off. And as the messenger, that's not really your responsibility, but it kind of feels like it is. Because, did I fail my mission of not being able to clearly say what needs to be said to this person? Especially because of what we're doing, we should have the capacity to understand that not everybody receives information in the same way. So did I need to rework this message better so that they can actually grasp it and hold on to it and heal from it and learn from these, from these words. And yeah, like Cindy was saying, it does take a lot of practice, and be open to it. Be open to your intuition, because I think it's better, I don't know, I'm sure you guys agree, to be more in contact with your intuition with all of its pros and cons than to not be in contact with it, to be oblivious to it, for sure.
I don't know how to function any other way, honestly.
At this
point,
yeah.
like I couldn't. Yeah, I'm like, no.
I wouldn't choose any other lifestyle.
No, I wouldn't either.
No.
I wouldn't either.
Because you're just fucking up, honestly.
But
when I'm not listening to it.
I do know people though that I had a friend once upon a time ago, and she used to I didn't know this until we became friends. We were talking. Like I've done readings for her, and all my cards will tell her the exact same message, but in the conversation, and then she just shuts off. She chooses another path. I'm like, you cannot ask for help if you're not willing to listen. But it turns out when she was a child, she used to be able to see things before they happen, and she decided to close herself off to it.
Because it's scary.
And then as she got older, now you're wishing that you've already shut yourself off to that. You've shut it down. You're like, nope, no thank you, I'm good. And now you're like, I kind of miss it.
Yeah, I think that's why it's really important to have open and honest discussions with your higher self, your spirit guides, your ancestors, wherever you're receiving those messages from, and being able to identify and source that information, and be clear to what is most receptive to you. What's receptive to you, and how you're able to understand things, and the capacity at which you can, hold
But I love that
those
you
things.
said you set boundaries with your.
Oh yeah.
People need to
because
do that.
Nobody knows. Come across tricksters.
No, I understand, but people who don't know those things don't know. Oh, I can set boundaries. Like, okay, I don't want to receive all of this. If you just give me a port, you can work on your relationship.
Yeah.
Again, there's a relationship you have with your spirit guides. It's like, I don't want to know this. Just I want all this other stuff. Because there's times where I'm like, yes, I know you're there, but I don't want to talk to you right now. And I just go out, yes, I feel you. I know you're there, but we're not having a conversation. I'm just gonna keep on
Like
going.
I'm not receptive right
Yeah,
now. Like
exactly.
I'm not open enough. I'm not in a place where I can be helpful.
Right, exactly.
And I know.
And it's okay to have those conversations.
Yeah, and I know they probably need it right then and there. Yeah,
they understand.
But you have to have those conversations. Yeah, you have to be able to
throw it out
build that relationship with them. Yeah, you really do.
But you can have those just walk around the house, have a conversation. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, if I need something, it's just an open conversation. It's not something in my head. There's nobody else around. I'm not worried about being judged.
No.
It's a safe space. So this is the time for me to have a conversation. If I feel you there, I'm going to tell you, no, we're not doing this right now.
And it's not necessarily like a dictatorship, you know, because these are beings way bigger than me.
Right.
It's just respectfully, I can't. It'll break me.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to receive. I'm not going to receive the message you want to give me at this point the way you want me to receive it. I'm just not. It's, again, when we're the messenger, I understand I am the messenger and but I'm not going to receive it.
See, and being a messenger is not even part of my purpose. So it's like, not all the way. Not in the same fashion as you guys.
Right.
Not in the same fashion.
Because I choose not to communicate with the dead. Does that make sense? Like they'll come to, I'm like, no, that's not my specialty. I don't want to open that up. I don't want to walk around and just have people talking to me, so I have to convey a message. I don't want my head filled with all that. My head's already filled with so much as it is. So when I'm sorry, I cannot help you. Go find somebody else.
Oh yeah,
I had to tell a spirit last night. Actually, I was like, I can't. I'm like, no, it's 10 o'clock at night. I can't.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's past my bedtime.
I'm like, I'm laying in bed. I can't know.
Yeah, I'm like, right now is not the time I'm trying to communicate with
I don't
you.
even want to. I don't want to go down that path. I'm sorry. I know you have a message to get to somebody else, but I'm not sure. I'm not
I'm not the vessel that can communicate
that is not me. That is not the choice. Like
But
you choose not to. Yes, exactly. Like you said, you don't choose to heal. You don't want to be practicing.
No.
You want to guide
my
people.
practice is different. I'd rather, like, my entire philosophy is kind of being in contact with the spiritual and kind of having that holistic, wholesome experience. Is you can fish for somebody for one day. And do it for them for one day, and they'll have to keep coming back to you because they don't know how to fend for themselves. Or you could just teach them how to fish. And I'd rather teach them how to fish.
Right.
I'd rather you be able to stand on your own 2 feet and do this day in, day out, 24/7 for yourself, with yourself, because you're gonna have a better experience that way.
Right.
You're gonna develop a more intimate relationship than you could if somebody is conducting the healing for you all the time.
Right.
And it's just like, it's a more unique experience. It's intimate and it's more fulfilling because you get to do what you want to do. You get to do what fulfills your spirit and communicate with your own spirit guides and whoever you're trying to communicate to with your source energies. And it's all catered and personalized to your journey, because even though we're doing similar things, each of us has a distinct path. Our paths are not the same. So there are crossovers. There's crossovers and intersections, and there are plenty of times, even for me in my own journey, where I'm walking with another guide, another healer, crossing paths with them, intersecting with them to help guide me on my own path and give me direction. But our paths they're not always parallel.
Right.
Yeah. That's a little culty. I'm just gonna let you know that. Yeah.
But I want to throw it out there. Yeah, you're not going to offend your spirits if you're just like, hey, no.
If you're honest with
them.
This
is not what I want to do. I choose to do, because, if you have, like you said, we have so many other different gifts and talents. Yeah. I can't focus. We're supposed to focus on things and be good at it. I don't want to add something else and have a clutter of noise going on in my head 24/7, along with the other crap that I'm sorry. It's not crap, I get it, but all the other stuff,
information
that's going on, and along with my daily life on top of that, and trying to manage all of these things, I'm like
I can't do everything.
No, I'm not gonna manage somebody else's. No, I can't.
And just because you have your pathways open, you can hear them, does not mean that is your purpose.
Right.
Does not mean that's your path.
Or you have to accept it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. One thing I always tell people too is I'm like, we're of the 3D realm. And so if you're feeling like bombarded by spirits or entities or stuff like that, like tell them to go away.
Yeah.
We own this domain. They're not in the physical body, so
That's why they kind of need us to
test.
communicate
Right.
messages, you know.
Exactly.
So it's
Like,
like,
oh, bye.
yeah, it's like you have more power than you think you do.
Mhm.
You really do.
Mhm.
You really do. They, you know, we need each other,
Yeah.
and they, and in that same fashion, they need us.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's definitely, definitely open. Explore those possibilities. Listen to your intuition. Get connected with your heart. Yeah, and just be open to that. For sure, yeah. Are there like special ways or anything you guys do to like strengthen your intuition, play with your intuition?
So you know we just did this last night.
We did.
So
we did.
we went. So I like to test myself. I like to play roulette. I love games of chance. And we sit there and like Janae sat down. She called the number out. That's the number to hit next. And it's always great when you sit there
Only
like.
when it's Lee's money.
But it's always I was like, because she sat down next to me. She never played roulette, and I was like,
Yeah.
They were Black Hawk last night.
yes, we were. But I was like, I like to play this game because it tests my intuition. That's what I do. And so, I mean, I didn't lose a whole lot. I pretty much maintained. So I'm like, okay, but it's just fun for me. That's how I like to do things that I know that are going to be like, you have to make it a game.
Yeah.
It's like keeping your skills
Yes,
honed and fresh.
Yeah, it is just keeping it fresh, and there's lots of little things you can do. I was telling you guys the other day or a few weeks ago, I like to play a little crystal game. You can honestly do this with any type of bag that's covered, Crown Royal bag, any type of bag that's like not see-through. Put some items in there, and then you need someone else for this, and they can tell you, okay, they're pulling something out the bag, and you've got to get connected with them. It's really testing your intuition, how you can read people. What are they holding? What item are they holding? And you see this intuition game a lot on just like social media too. What crystal's in my hand? You know, which card am I flipping over? You know, just like little things like that. And it's kind of fun. It's fun just to like play with yourself, and see what you can discover and see how strong, you know, how well you can get. You can play on the road while you're driving. Hey, is this light gonna be green? Don't look at the little walkie thing.
I like to do that too.
Yeah.
That's another thing
Because
I
you
like to
can
do.
look at the little walk thing and tell, okay, it's like 10 seconds left.
Right.
Or you can, okay, let's see if I can really get this.
Right.
You know, just like little stuff.
Right.
Little stuff. Hey, this guy's just gonna jump over. Watch.
And
Watch
so
this.
like the other thing, so when the ball is spinning, I can tell when it's about to pop off and go into because it just spins and spins and spins and spins. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like to test myself and it's about to pop off, and it pops off, and it goes into a little ball. Whether or not I get the numbers right, I don't care, but I can tell it's just little bitty pieces. That you know, anything that's a chance. I love anything that has to do with chance. I like to
Play
test.
some craps.
Yes.
What numbers are these? That's literally
Test
how you
with-
play craps.
Yeah, you have to have, you have to feel like, oh, okay, it's going to be in this area. I mean, I may not get exact, but yeah, I test myself all the time. I think it's fun.
It is fun.
It is fun, and you're also challenging yourself, and you're also teaching yourself, I guess, and strengthening.
Yeah, it's strength training for your intuition.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is, and it's actually lots of fun.
It
so
is.
like I don't know if I haven't tried to Google this, but I'm sure if you Google intuition games, there's gonna be stuff that pops up, and just try some shit out.
Right.
Just try things out, see how you feel. I think that's lots of fun. Cool. So we're gonna dive into a couple other topics today. We have Debbie Downers. So how do you guys deal with Debbie Downers in your life? Because we can't just have this negative, draining energy around you all the time. You have to learn how to manage it, especially when they're people you work with, or your roommates, or people you can't necessarily like completely cut off from your life.
And what we refer to when we say Debbie Downers, we don't mean somebody having a bad day.
No.
We mean that person that has a constant bad day, the whole day. No matter, they can never find the positives in anything. It's like, and so my favorite thing to do is refer to a Flintstones character, and some of y'all might not even be old enough, but you should Google him. Yes, Schleprock. I sent down a picture of Schleprock. So he's this little dude, dark black cloud, and occasionally lightning shoots out at him. No matter what, he has bad days all the time. There's nothing he can do. We all know somebody like that, or somebody crossed their path every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
this
that's what I
chronic
refer.
haterness.
That's what I mean. Yes, they're just always, no matter what, you can be like, put a positive spin on it, they come back with something negative. That is a Debbie Downer.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're the kind of people, they drain you. They suck the life out of you. I used to work in a sales department, and this one guy, he used to be so positive, and then he started getting negative, and this is a really bad way to put it. I was like, dude, you used to be so positive, but now all you negative, you make me want to go hang myself from the rafters. That's how bad it is, because I can't deal with, it's to a point where I can't deal with it no more. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't want to. I don't know how to solve this. I need you to go back in your little corner and not, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes, like, if you're having a certain Debbie Downer, like, you're trying to share a positive experience or things that you're excited about, and all they have is, like, a negative counter. They only have a negative counter. They're like, okay, but what about all these bad possibilities? They're literally trying to share their darkness, their shade, with you, and camouflage it as, oh, I'm just reading you. This is just playful shade. So sometimes you might have to throw a little bit of that shade back, so they can get a taste of their own medicine.
Or it's
And,
not
like,
necessarily, they might just also jealous, and I just want to bring you down to my level.
Exactly. It could be that, but you gotta call them out when that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't wait, don't like, oh, okay, like, oh, later in the day, message them, blah, 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 like, you made me feel some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
No, call it out then and there. Let them know that you're not gonna do this playful shade thing. We're not gonna do this cutesy, I'm reading you, when you're really just trying to be negative and bring me down. We're gonna call that out right then and there. So I am gonna give that right back to you, because that's not mine. I'm not gonna hold on to that. I'm not gonna touch that. I'm not gonna taste it. You can have that plate right back.
Because it will fester.
Yeah.
It will fester if you don't address it at that time.
Yeah, because they'll just keep doing it and see what they can get away with, because obviously you are gonna be a source of relief for them, of like, okay, I can give some of this negative energy that I'm feeling to someone else, and then we can multiply it together. Because, like, you know, someone that likes to complain needs someone to complain with.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. My experience is when people just constantly, all you do is find something negative. So like how I deal with it is I turn around and I find the positive in that, and I'm like, you need to focus on that. You spin in something else. Again, all I do is you keep throwing negative, I'm gonna keep throwing positive. I'm gonna keep throwing light, keep throwing dark, but throw light, and eventually they're just gonna go away, because one of two things: they're either gonna accept the positive outlook and they'll be like, okay, you're right, I accept it, or they're just gonna go on about their business, because you understand I'm not gonna sit here and wallow in this with you, because everything you throw at me, I got something positive.
You like to work with people. I
was
like to
gonna
work
say,
with
I was
people.
like, you engage on a level I would.
I
don't
like
shut that
to.
shit down. Like,
Yeah.
if we're gonna be playing that kind of game, you better pay me. Book me. Book
Yeah.
me for a session. Book me for a tarot reading. Book me
Because
for
I don't
a
do shadow
spiritual
work for free.
No.
But you know I do.
Yeah. That's one of the things I go after.
And I
was
get
like,
in
don't-
trouble.
yeah.
I get in trouble, not
Every
just by
time.
you. Everybody tells me the same thing. You need to be charging people, and I'm like, because I've been doing it all my life.
Yeah.
It's hard for
That'll
me to
make
be
it right.
like, yeah, I know, I
Boundaries.
understand, I understand.
No.
But sometimes it's just, I can't help myself.
I can't help myself. I'm like, sis, I'm giving you this right back.
Right.
I'm not taking none of
like,
that.
shut that down.
Yeah.
And people, I think too, like for me, just personally at this stage in the game, and like on my own personal healing journey, like I absolutely refuse to engage with that energy, and so people can tell. They avoid me. They're like, oh no, she's not gonna play with me.
Yeah, they learn instantly.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, I'm
like,
not.
okay, here, let me give you some of
absolutely
this
will
back,
not.
and then I bet you won't do it again.
And I will call you out on it, and that's another thing too. Like, I don't let things fester. I have been the kind of person who will just kind of take shit and not say anything, and so I've made it a point in my healing journey to call shit out when it happens in the moment, which takes a lot of work for sure. It's not easy. So like I'm not saying that like you should, everybody watching this is a practice you need to adopt right now. This is like, you know, years of therapy for me to be able to get to this point. But no, I will not engage with you like that. And if you are going to try and engage with me like that, you better book me, because I'm not going to do it for free. No, ma'am, no turkey.
Because you better book with Sydney, because you can't even book with me to do that. You like at all, not in any shape or form. Instantly gonna call you out. Instantly gonna just, I give it right back to them, and I give it Like, whatever you try to give to me, whatever you try to say with me, like, for example, if I'm trying to share a positive experience, something that should be celebrated, something that I'm just excited about, and someone's like, okay, here's all these negative stuff, I'm like, sis, okay, I'm not going to share any more congratulatory things with you because you are being really negative, and I do not want to engage with any type of negative energy at this point moving forward. So establish that boundary, and also people are surprised by that. They don't necessarily expect you to say anything back, and it does take kind of a level of self-worth that you have and a level of confidence that you have in yourself to be able to do things like that. And it is something that you work for and that you obtain, but it feels a lot fucking better to be able to stand your ground and not let people just invade your space with whatever they want to distribute to you than it is to absorb what they're saying and kind of deal with it,
Yeah, I love that you said self-worth, because it really is.
Yeah.
It's a huge piece of it for sure. And I mean, it's liberating.
It is liberating because for me personally, I had to work through a lot of shame and a lot of guilt because, who am I to be able to stand my ground when you are insecure, like I was insecure with myself. Like, I didn't think I was worthy enough or good enough or strong enough to be able to say that to someone else, to be able to stand my ground to someone else and tell them, hey, I'm not going to receive that because I didn't feel like I was big enough to do that. So when you start just really believing in yourself and having that value and doing the healing work, doing that self-work, doing that solitude work that it takes to be able to engage correctly in interpersonal relationships is going to be really helpful in the long run.
Right. But I do everything for me is situation based. Y'all already know this, like long time friend. So now, but what I'm doing is I'm cleaning house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So things that don't serve me and I've been taking it, I'm just whoop. Okay, we're done. You pushed me up against. You pushed me in the little corner. I'm done.
Yeah.
And at work, that's another situation. Yeah, I do what you do. I give it back. It's like, oh, you want to come for me? Okay, let's play this real quick.
Yeah.
But I don't take all this crap and just hold it inside. I don't.
Yeah.
That's why when they spit negative shit at me, I spit positive, and eventually they'll go away. Or I get the few that call me and then I'm helping them through their journey.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not charging, but it's still a situation by situation thing.
I definitely get that.
Yeah.
I definitely get that. And sometimes you do have to do like a spring cleaning.
Yeah.
A spring cleaning, if you will. Or
I'm doing a spring cleaning in life at this point. It's like it's not
Let me
just,
sweep this
this is not seasonal. Yeah, we're doing everything that does not serve me anymore, and that's the thing that I focus on in my head. That literally when something, I'm like, does it serve me? Yeah, it doesn't serve me. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, and it's not that I have the confidence. I know what I can and can, but again, there's a part of me that I'm just like, I have to give. So those people, they reach out to me. I just feel like, okay, you can't do this without me, but I also know you can't afford me either. So we're just gonna be friends. Those are my friends I collect that you get on me.
I know. I'm like, you just be collecting anybody.
Like
what?
Sometimes.
It's funny. Yeah, they gotta go through a couple filters.
Some of those people I inherit, I can't do nothing about.
Yeah.
But now I'm just.
Yeah, those taste like burdens to me.
Yeah. They're gone. It's okay. It'll be okay.
That's okay. Yes. Come on, Debbie Downers.
Yeah.
Stay at home.
Just because you're having a bad day, don't try to take it out on the rest of the world.
Like, I get
because
it.
that is contagious. It is. That's why I try to be light. I try to put out positive energy constantly because that is contagious. I'll eventually break you down. You can come in a bad mood, not be a morning person every day, and I've done it before. That's how, because I'm gonna continue to throw positive at you, and eventually you're gonna adapt. If you don't adapt, then you just fall off. There's one or two ways.
Yeah.
And because everybody wants light. Everybody wants light.
Yeah.
Because I used to work in aviation, and I'd come through in the morning and I'd say, good morning. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, the minute I hit a building, good morning, and I am not a morning person. That's the other thing that pisses me. Like, my kids are like grumpy as crap. I'm like, oh my God. If I can find the energy in me to be positive and happy and upbeat, y'all got to do something about this because I cannot.
Yeah, but some people don't even respond to positive energy. They don't. not at
then
all.
you just
They
don't
care.
fuck with them, and you just go on with your life, and but it eats them up inside because you're so hot. Why are you so happy?
Yeah.
And they don't like me, and I don't care.
Yeah.
That's where I'm winning. I'm winning because I'm still being my best self. I'm still happy and sure. You may not like me, but I'm still winning because a lot of people do, whether you like me or not. I don't care. At the end of the day, you don't pay my bills. You don't do nothing for me. So go be grumpy in your own little corner and live in your own little world. I'm okay with that.
That's
You're
definitely...
You're not affecting me. I'm going to be okay. The minute you give them power, you lose. I refuse to give them power.
That's why I give it back, because I think it's funny. I'm a comedy person.
But you're a comedy person.
Yeah.
You laugh.
I love to laugh. I'm a generous laugher.
Yes,
I am.
And it's great.
I am.
It's greatness.
I love it. I think it's funny.
It is.
Yeah, see, my strategy, I'll name it. I'll be like, so that's narcissistic. That's narcissistic behavior, and I don't engage with that. So bye. Like, I just like, I'll call it out, and then like, I think name it. I'm like, this behavior is abusive. This behavior is manipulative.
Oh, for sure.
This is like,
For sure.
Like,
Let me call you out for what you're playing right now.
Like,
Let me tell you your character role that you hopped into today, because it's cute. I wouldn't do that again with me.
Yeah, but some people just are not, because they are narcissists. I'm not gonna. What are you talking about? I'm not a narcissist.
See, look, and I'm funny. I'd be like, your head is real big right now. You might want to shrink that down because you're looking like a bobblehead. Yeah. Options.
I always look like a bobblehead.
You're proportional.
I don't think so. I think my head's too big for my body sometimes, but it'd be
That's not even
that's
accurate.
that's your own body dysmorphia because you're perfectly proportioned.
That's body dysmorphia. There she is doing it in real time.
There we go. I agree. I concur.
Comedy, guys. Well, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. And thank you, Debbie Downers, for the lessons.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
we are as
That's how we
powerful as we are
Yeah.
because of your friction. So
Yes.
thanks
Yeah,
for
thanks
making me
for
all
the
smooth and
tension.
glowy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah,
That is
you don't
true.
get the shiny.
Yeah.
You don't get the shiny just like taking what y'all get out. Because my aura would be all shaded and shit.
No, me neither.
Buffed and polished.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And now we can move on. We can talk about, since we're talking about funny stuff, anyways, let's go ahead and get into these Reddit posts. Okay.
Hey.
Yes. And take it away.
So just to preface this one, like I picked this one because it totally just like sent me into a feminist rant. When I read it, like I was just like, oh my god. And I think just to point out like how intersectional feminism is spiritual work, is sacred spiritual work. I envision a world where we are liberated from the gender binary. Like, fuck those colonial gender norms, please and thank you. And so not only was this one kind of funny, but also just inspired me to talk about these kinds of subjects. So,
you know I like to laugh.
yes. This is from the Am I the Asshole thread on Reddit, which I love. I'm obsessed with these. They crack me up. So we're going to put judgment on this. Is this person the asshole? She asks, am I the asshole for not praising my boyfriend's cooking efforts when he made boxed mac and cheese?
Boy.
Okay.
Are you a child?
My goodness.
I already have comments.
I'm saying, right? I'm saying.
Box mac and cheese.
Box
not
mac
craft.
and cheese.
Not craft
But
mac.
people have limitations.
It's not even hard to make
But
mac and cheese.
I feel like he made the effort, though. If he
Oh,
never,
girl.
I feel like he made the effort. He made the effort.
No, the audacity. Because if we're at home, my man, I went to work today. My man's texting me. He's like, I've got dinner on the table for you, love.
I don't know about praising
And I
him,
come
but
home
at
and
least
it's Kraft box
I don't
mac
care.
and
He
cheese.
made the
Are there
effort.
vegetables?
What,
Is there protein with
God,
this?
finish. Let's finish.
Sorry.
Let's go.
No,
Maybe
I
this
know,
one.
but like, thank you. This is why I picked this one. All right, so she goes, my boyfriend, 33 male, and I, 36 female, have been dating for 9 months now. He doesn't know how to cook, and this is the cause of tension between us.
See, he doesn't know
Okay,
how to
just wait though.
cook. Okay.
I'm like,
When he eats alone, it is usually a mix of instant ramen, ready-to-heat frozen meals, cereals, and portioned meals his mother gives him.
oh, sweet baby.
I don't eat meat and can't eat many of these, and a few months into the relationship, it became clear he can't prepare food for us both. I asked him why he doesn't cook, and he said it's a mix of not needing to and being scared of it. Being scared of
cooking?
Basic survival needs.
Yeah. Like, you don't gotta be a chef, but you can't make pasta.
You make macaroni and cheese.
No,
Okay, but wait. He said he doesn't like how cooking has lots of elements that need to come together at different times and finds it stressful. He expressed a desire to learn to cook, so I started to teach him.
Yeah.
So far, I have shown him how to make deli-style sandwiches, cheese omelets, okay, I know, right? And pizza. Nothing fancy, the kind where you buy the pre-made base and add the toppings.
Yeah.
Teaching him requires me to help him make a list of ingredients and go to the supermarket to help purchase them because he finds it easier when I'm there to do that. When I show him how to cook, I try to be patient and careful with him because I want him to have a good association with the experience.
Yeah.
I praise everything he does, and when we sit down to eat, I thank him, but sometimes I find it challenging. For example, when we made pizzas, he asked me if I put tomato on my base before or after oregano. I said it didn't matter, and he got upset with me for not just telling him the right answer. This led to a fight. I've tried to explain to him that it doesn't matter if a meal is perfect, we just need to eat. Sometimes I wonder if he has a learning disorder or similar, but he is smart and good at learning in other areas of life.
Smart at manipulating.
It's funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so funny how women who baby their man, who are basically raising a man, are like, but he's so smart.
He's not smart.
No,
he's smart at manipulating.
This is weaponized
Yeah.
confidence, like
Yeah.
textbook.
Yes.
Textbook.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does clean up and do the dishes after we cook. He always thanks me for cooking. Recently, he's been sending me pictures of food he cooks for himself. The other day, he messaged me a picture of boxed mac and cheese with broccoli and told me he was pleased with it. I didn't reply and changed the subject. Later, he told me he was sad I didn't say something nice about it because he was proud of himself. I know the polite and good thing to do would have been to reply with something encouraging, but I feel like I'm already doing a lot to teach him cooking and don't want to be a 24/7 cheerleader as well. Yeah.
That's not your responsibility.
At all.
Don't raise a man, guys.
No. I'm doing all of the mental load, organizing food for us as a couple. Usually when we dine out, I pick the place, and often he asks me what I think he should order.
How can you be attracted to a man like this?
And then towards the end, you can tell she's like, I am so not alone, not attracted to you anymore. Being in the role of cooking/food coach is okay 1 or 2 nights of the week, but I want him to feel confident, but sometimes I just need a break. There's something about this dynamic that isn't attractive to me. It's like I'm his mom, and he is looking at me for approval. Am I the asshole for not encouraging my boyfriend making a boxed mac and cheese?
No, you're not.
Girl, nah.
Absolutely not. It is 2023. If you don't know how to do something, fucking look it up. Literally just look it up. There's
Google.
We
YouTube.
have yeah.
You can learn anything on YouTube.
Especially just like simple recipes. Dude.
Pinterest.
Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, Google, Yahoo, even if you want to.
I go figure out how to do things what would normally be classified as a male thing to do, like go fix something.
Yeah.
But I can go figure it all out on my own. So, okay. Just until you get the whole full context, because encourage him.
She's trying to raise him.
I understand, but I'm saying with all the other context, because in the beginning I was like, he threw broccoli in it. Most people are just, but he's still on the instant side. Ramen noodles, because that's what she started off with. He does all instant food. And why isn't he calling his mom? I'm curious. As to, hey mom, maybe
his mom will just make it for him.
And mom still makes it for him.
But he needs to be like, hey mom, I'm trying to impress her. He should be calling his mom and saying, hey, aren't you proud of me, bullshit? Because this is your girlfriend. You're trying to impress your girlfriend. He's smart. He's smart at manipulating her into doing everything. There's a
You
lot.
don't have to be that smart to do that.
As an adult, we're supposed to go out and do things that are uncomfortable for us. That's the only way we're going to become adults and functioning and doing stuff for ourselves. Why is she holding his hand? I have a problem with her too.
Because we're so conditioned.
I don't
women
care.
are
You
so
still
conditioned
no.
to like
I'm not holding
caretake
anybody's
men,
hand. Fuck
and
that.
he's like a heat-seeking missile and knew it when he met her that she would baby him in this way, and which is why he was being this manipulative. I'm sorry, like for me, as soon as I got the deli sandwich, I was like, my 8-year-old can make a sandwich.
Because you are just putting ingredients together. You're not even cooking.
Stacking
You're not
stuff
even
in
cooking.
layers.
Yeah,
like,
that's
there's
not even
no
a grilled
timing
cheese.
involved.
You don't even have to toast that bread. So
like nada, like that is like he is being stupid on purpose because he wants to be taken care of.
Exactly.
yeah.
Like
Exactly.
100%.
I mean, if she's been doing that for 9
She's
months because
enabling.
they've got to eat.
Yes.
You got to eat every day. So she's been doing that for 9
And see,
months.
I'm at the point where if I have to sit here and give you the instructions, go and buy everything, go do all this stuff, what do I need you for? I don't need you. I'm that
For
person.
real.
No.
I'm like, if I gotta go do all this and run my
I
life,
wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't, that's what I'm
I
saying.
wouldn't have gotten to that point.
No, I wouldn't either for me, but I had to learn that too at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At some
I
point,
learned from
I've
other people's
experienced.
lessons. Yeah.
Exactly, but I didn't have anybody to learn from. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, that's how I look at things. If I'm doing everything, that's how everybody should look at it. If I'm doing everything, what do I need you for? What?
I don't need you.
Exactly.
Yeah. If basically the
Exactly.
ship runs without you on it,
Exactly.
it can continue to run
Exactly.
without you on
And
it.
I won't have any headaches. I don't have to coddle with you. I don't have to.
Because that seems like a full-time job trying to do that.
100%.
Dude, that sounds tiring.
Meal planning, like the mental load of meal planning, deciding on what it is that you need, writing it all down, going to the store, picking it up. He can't even go to the store.
I know,
Like,
that's what I'm
you need
saying.
to go to the store, like you can't even grocery
it's
shop.
easier when you come with me. Well, yeah, of course it is, but like also you're a grown ass man. Can
Exactly.
you go to the grocery
Are you gonna ever
store?
learn how to adult?
Exactly.
Like,
That's just common sense.
Yeah.
That's not hard.
That's wild. Like that's just like him being manipulative,
Yes.
100%. And
Mhm.
yeah, no, she needs to hold him accountable and leave the relationship
Exactly.
because they get married and it's gonna be the same
It's not
thing.
gonna change.
Dude,
She's
nah.
gonna be
Throw that man away.
Yeah.
Kick him to the
trash,
curb.
trash.
Yes.
Throw it out. Throw the
Kobe,
whole man out.
because
Bye.
yeah, bye.
Bye.
He's not worth it. He's not worth it at all. And you shouldn't have to teach a man how to cook. I'm sorry.
No.
No. You
It's
should
like
not.
these are basic life skills.
Yeah.
Basic.
'Cause
life
it's
I'm
not
sure he
like-
knows how to work a computer. I'm sure he knows how to play video game. I'm just saying. I know I'm kind of stereotyping here, but I'm sure he knows how to do all these things. So why can he not get on Google or
I don't
YouTube?
know.
And YouTube is a video, an actual
She sounds
freaking
like
video.
a type of man that doesn't know how to like do basic things.
Right.
If he can't cook, like, do you know how to make me tea?
Oh, I'd love to know who's doing the laundry.
Yeah, I'm like, he's not doing
Like-
laundry. He's not. I mean, she said, oh, he does dishes and stuff. Does he leave his socks and underwear on the bathroom floor after he takes a shower? Like, I feel like he does. Does he leave the toilet seat up? Because he sounds like he does.
Does he shave and leave all of his hair all over the counter?
Because that's fucking
Like,
gross.
Yeah.
That's hella gross, dude. Does he just get out of bed and not make it? Fucking gross.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's all bad. It's all bad.
Mm-mm.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you have
no.
another one?
I don't have another one. I like saved it for that one because I was just like, this is.
That's an easy one. Throw him away.
There's so much. It's all bad. But I mean, like, I even just like, it taught me to the point, or it brought me to the point where, because you know, there's always like this conversation around relationships where men are always like, you know, women only want us for our money. They only want us for how it is that we can provide. And then they expect women to fill this like caretaker role. And it's just like, for me, just like, you know, it leads to a deeper issue within our society. I mean, women weren't financially independent completely until like what,
It's a
early
different time.
70s?
Yeah, it's a different time than it is, you know, way back then when, you know, women couldn't have bank accounts, where you know, women couldn't go and get a job.
Yeah.
You couldn't go to college, you know, you didn't have access to the same opportunities. And, you know, that was a sort of balance for them now, or back then. But now that we have, you know,
We don't need
more
men
equal
to
opportunities.
survive.
No, you don't.
Like, we don't, like, before it was literally like you couldn't go out and get a job, you couldn't like keep and save your own money.
Yeah.
We don't need men to survive. And so we're out here evolving and growing and changing, and men aren't keeping up. Men are not keeping up. And then I think that's why there's such a huge wave of, you know, transphobia right now, because because our trans siblings are continuing to stand strong and be fearless in their authenticity, we're being awakened to the fact that gender is a spectrum.
Yeah.
Nature doesn't do binaries. There are multiple ancient cultures around the world that have recognized multiple genders. And so it's like, as we're being liberated from the gender binary, as we're continuing to evolve, the one gender that's still staying stuck because they're losing their power, they're losing their comfort, they're losing their privilege, are cis men. You guys are being called to evolve right now. Step up. Step up. You can't just sit here and be manipulative. You can't just sit here and continue to be oppressive and create bullshit laws to control our reproductive rights, to control gender affirming care, which is life-saving care. No, it's not about that. You are going to lose this power. You are going to lose this fight. It's time for you to step up and evolve. Learn how to cook, do the laundry, be a partner in this.
It's really about like each of us has an opportunity to step up and be a fully formed human being. You shouldn't necessarily need to depend on anyone else to live your everyday life. That's codependent. It's being codependent, and if you don't need to do that with other people. You really don't. You should be able to handle yourself. You should be able to feed yourself, laundry yourself, clean yourself, and maintain your own lifestyle. If you cannot maintain your own lifestyle, you need to figure some shit out. That's on you.
How can you even have pride in yourself? You know what I mean? How can you respect yourself if you can't even do the minor basic
Because
things?
your ego is so big, you're like, I deserve to be served. And like, there's like certain things, like if you have like a praise kink, and I'm like, this is different shit. This is different shit though. But that's when you're like in a good, safe, committed relationship, and you guys are just doing freaky shit. Okay, that's different. That's some different shit. But no one's just gonna serve you, especially when you're not serving anybody else, because there's give and take. So like, if you're not giving and you're just taking, you need to take your ass home.
It's about being part of a community. I think like we need each other, but like again, like you said, it's give and take. Like, you know what I mean?
Like we definitely still need friends, our family, people to do things with, like hang out.
Exchange.
Exactly.
Yeah. But there has, even in a friendship, it has to be balanced.
Yeah.
You
can't
have
just be
one
taken from
person.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
Can't have one person basically maintaining the relationship and the other person's kind of just there along for the ride. Like, you are not my kid. You are not my child.
No.
You are not my child, and I'm not just gonna take you along. No, just grow up.
Would you guys be down to maybe pick out one more just randomly while we're sitting here?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds fire.
Up.
Super hot fire.
Let's see.
You love me. I don't know. I should put something.
I do love you.
Yeah. That looked like hate.
Whatever. I
I'm just
do.
kidding.
I don't do hate.
I know. Just jokes.
Let's see what comes up. Let's just go with the first one at the top here. Am I the asshole for not moving out of my apartment so my brother can have it? We need context, because I don't know.
I was like, questions. That's a circumstance.
I, female, 23, have an older brother, 32. I have moved out of my parents' house earlier than him and found a small place for myself that is really close to my job. The place is not the biggest. It's a one-bedroom apartment, but it is enough for one person and rent is very cheap, so I'm extremely happy with it. I put a lot of work into it and made sure it's my little happy space. Recently, my brother started staying over now and then. I don't have a problem with that. He works the night shift and my place is closer to his job than my parents' house. The problem began when he started bringing more of his stuff to my place. He brought his PS4, started gaming in my living room, and is overall just being terribly inconsiderate guest and treats me like our mom. I see a theme here. I just picked this one off the top. I brought this up with my parents, and my dad suggested that I should let my brother live there and get myself a new apartment. He said I should look for a bigger place because my brother makes less money and he could afford my place, and I could find something better. But I don't want a bigger apartment. I have no plans to have a family or partner where I would need anything more than one bedroom. And I put so much work into personalizing my apartment that this feels so unfair. My parents said that I'd be an asshole for both kicking my brother out now for staying over and not giving him the place. Is that true? Edit with some additional info. My brother does not pay rent to me. He used to stay here for only a couple days, but it's been turning into weeks.
First
Tell
of
him
all,
to fuck off.
What?
why did she, first of all, she should have addressed this with her brother, period. But she went to the parents instead. Secondly, why is the father automatically saying, hey, he's not paying, how do we know he can survive?
Because they've been babying
She
him.
took the initiative to go and find this, no, fuck all of them, because
That's
she
why I
took
said
the initiative,
cuff.
yeah, exactly. She took the initiative to go and build this little slice of heaven for herself, and she needs to kick her butt, change the lock, do whatever she does, I don't know. But
Kick him to the curb.
Why is she expected to caretake for her friend?
No, dude.
What is happening?
But
Yeah,
just like
so,
her
like, your
parents, her parents expect her to.
Just because they're your parents, I mean, you gotta listen to them.
Parents are fully
And why can't he
enabling
go
his
and find an
toxic
apartment
behavior.
of his own in the same complex? I'm just curious.
Because his sister's already done the work for him. So he's like, dude, you've already done the work. Just do it for me. You've already done it. So, like, really, there's nothing to do except just give me what he thinks he deserves.
No.
But just tell him to fuck
Honestly,
off.
I mean, what did they say? The brother's 33. Is that what they said?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously the parents are like, I'm so over his shit.
Yeah,
and,
they
like,
want him out of the
just
house
get
too.
him
They just wanna
out.
give him to someone
Yeah.
else.
And I'm like, okay,
Like, he's a
y'all
dog.
failed with not holding him accountable.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and at this point, I mean, especially in this economy, I don't judge living with your parents.
Right.
If you can do it and it's a healthy situation, do
Right.
it for as long as you can. Save that money.
But they put it all off on the
obviously
daughter.
This is not that.
Instead of taking responsibility as parents, they put it all off on the daughter. And still, if we're siblings and you're taking advantage of me, I should tell you first.
Yeah.
Then if I can't get rid of your ass, then I'm gonna go to the parents and be like, y'all need to come get this boy and do something with him.
Yeah.
And even then, I'd probably just change my locks. No, me, I'd be like, hey.
He wouldn't have had a key.
Yeah, well,
Like,
For
how he gonna,
real.
why are you in my house when I'm not there if you're kind of just staying over? You know, you're just hanging out with me.
some
or,
families are just close
No,
like
you
that.
need to have boundaries.
They're not that close if she can't even have that conversation with her brother.
That's true.
Y'all are weird.
That's true.
Y'all are weird. Literally, this is easy. Tell them all to fuck off.
Mhm.
Because that's your place. You pay for it.
Yeah.
You pay all the bills.
You
That
put
is
in
your
all the
shit. You
work.
put all the work to make that
You
your
found the
place.
place. Exactly.
Yeah.
You found the place on your own. Nobody's help.
Exactly.
You did what you-
And he just wants to leech off of you.
Yes, exactly.
Like, no, you don't need any leeches on that beautiful skin. Tell him to fuck off.
Yep.
No, and I'm huge on like having healthy boundaries with especially family.
Mhm.
Like people are gonna be like, oh, those are the parents, or oh, that's your brother, oh, that's your family. No.
I don't care.
Like if it's toxic, if it's bad, if it's not,
Yeah,
like in
'cause
alignment
he-
with your truth and your path, bye,
Yeah.
bye.
Because he does
no
not
matter
res-
how
obviously
genetically
he
close
does-
we are.
Obviously, none of them respect you.
Nope.
They don't care about, what you've built. They don't give any type of fuck for you. So,
Yeah.
bye.
Plus a 23, man, like that's a lot of work at 23.
Yeah, to be trying to take care of someone else too? Your older brother?
No.
Fuck no. Mm-mm. No.
And I like her whole vibe. She's like, I'm not trying to have a partner. I'm not trying to have a family. I'm just trying to have my space, do my job, do my thing, protect that peace, sis.
Yeah,
Like
it's
continue
important.
to do that. Bye,
Yeah.
brother. Bye, parents.
Yeah,
No.
It'll be okay.
for sure.
It'll be okay. That's how I operate. I mean, like, I know it seems, yeah, that's my mom, that's my, but y'all piss me off. It's like, whoop, I'm done. And I just go on with my life. We'll
Yeah.
eventually work it out or we won't. Either way, I'm okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm an
Yeah.
adult. I'm a fully grown human being that has spit out children of my own, have raised them. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants family. I get that. But if it does not serve you, back to the top of serving you, what does not serve you, you need to get rid of.
Yeah.
And either they'll come if they'll realize
not
the
your
mistake of their
business.
ways. I'm saying your family. Either they must
Yeah, still not your business.
realize what they did was wrong, and then
Yeah.
they'll try to mend the relationship, or if they don't. Either way, they're not serving you.
Yeah.
They're not looking out for your best interest. Obviously, they're looking out for all of them.
Yeah.
All of them, including the parents, because it's like, oh, he's not here now. Yay,
Yeah.
us to ourselves. So no.
Yeah, because other people's realizations and what they're got going on and how they deal with the relationships that they have is not any of your business. It's really not any of your business. Establish those boundaries. Know what is okay and what's not okay for you. Accept what's okay for you and what's going to push your path forward. If it's keeping you stagnant, or if it's holding you back, or if it keeps making you look back and regress, leave it. Leave it. Cut that shit off, because it's not going to help you. And you're going to be stuck in this little area, being stagnant. And being stagnant does not feel good. You naturally want to be free-flowing energy, and that's peaceful energy. Being stagnant is not peaceful. It's
Well, even
not.
so, you have resentment too. That's just building up and eating up at you. That's
There's
not
just
fun
many
either.
layers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not fun either. So
So
Have to
it's
teach
honestly
my
easier.
family. I've cut both my parents off for very long lengths of time because
But
my
then-
boundaries were violated, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you don't get access to me then.
Nuh-uh. 'Cause it's
Bye.
a
But they
privilege.
come back
It's a
around.
privilege
They
to
come
have
back
any
around
type
no
of
matter what.
relationship with me. It's a
Right.
fucking privilege.
Right.
So you don't just, that's not your birthright.
No.
You don't just get to have it. You don't deserve it. So you earn it.
Because there are people who survive as adults without their families. And so, my mom, immigrant,
Yeah.
moved all the way over here. Entire family there.
And that's just an
She's
easy
the only
one.
one here.
She hasn't even tried to establish that boundary for real. So
Right.
that's like step one, sis.
Yeah.
And then you can take it from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Good luck, but no,
Yeah.
you're not the asshole.
No.
No,
We
you're
have
not.
spoken. The spiritualist has
Spoken.
spoken.
Not that we have spoken. Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. From our hearts to yours, we hope you enjoyed these messages. You had a good laugh because I had a good time. It was lots of fun. And yeah, please tune into like Spiritual Sundays next week. And we'll be discussing a mystery topic. You guys can find out in the description below. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Toodaloos. Okay, Cleo. Yeah, I didn't want to do a closing prayer after.
It's your podcast. You don't have to explain. You're
Okay.
okay with it.
After doing something so funny.
Yeah, no, that was a good vibe.
Yeah, I think that was good.
So how long was it?
I didn't even hit record. So.
Oh.
I noticed. I was like, like
I noticed
was like,
earlier.
oh shit.
Yeah,
wow,
I noticed
we're
earlier,
going.
but I was like, that's fine because I haven't even been using these audios.
That hurt.